My dear viewers, hello and welcome to a new episode of our program Cultural Magazine, during which we're going to bring you the latest cultural events that are taking place in Egypt.
Minister of Culture Dr. Ines Abdeldaim inspects a number of cultural projects and creative facilities in Luxor. The top cultural official discussed the development of their working mechanisms during the next stage. She was received by the deputy of the governor of Luxor, Mohammed Khairi, along with various cultural officials. The Minister of Culture started her tour by visiting the Public Library of Egypt in Luxor and then headed to the city of Qirna on the western side of Luxor. Abdeldaim said that Luxor is the oldest capital in the world and the storehouse of civilizations and the city of 100 gates. Yet she elaborated that knowledge and the book remain one of the most important components in establishing the Egyptian personality throughout the ages, which reflect the richness of the creative personality of its children. The minister added that the city is full of talents and creative people, artistically and culturally, and confirmed that Egypt's public libraries are one of the arms of knowledge, awareness of the Egyptian citizen in the various governorates, and play an important role in creating a cultural new generation. She praised the role of the library in spreading enlightenment among the people of the governorate. The minister was also briefed on a number of activities in the library, including training courses on the use of technology, drawing workshops for children, reading rooms, and a panorama of historical civilization that monitors the history of pharaonic Egypt. Abdeldaim explained that Egypt's public libraries are one of the arms of knowledge in various governorates and play an important role in creating a new enlightened generation. Under the auspices of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and within the activities of the city of Port Said, selected as the capital of Egyptian culture, the Minister of Culture and the Governor of Port Said witnessed a performance by the Rida Folk Troupe at the Cultural Center. Head of the Cultural Development Fund sector, Dr. Fathi Abdel Wahab, together with some art officials in the ministry and members of the House of Representatives, and the large crowd of the public attended the celebration. Abdeldaim praised the level of the troupe and their performance, stressing that their participation of Rida troupe in the celebrations of the Egyptian capital of culture comes within the plans to introduce folklore in various parts of the country, stressing that it is one of the signs of Egyptian soft power, noting its success for more than 60 years in preserving one of the forms of cultural heritage. The celebration included a documentary film about the history of the Rida folk troupe and its emergence, followed by a selection of the most important tabloids that gave it fame and were linked to memories of the time of beautiful art in the minds of many. It is noteworthy that the Ministry of Culture organizes 100 cultural, artistic, and intellectual events in the celebration of Port Said, the Egyptian capital of culture, which were launched last March, in which all sectors participate. Among the activities of the ceremony, folk and performing arts, book fairs, plastic and Arabic calligraphy, seminars, cultural saloons, workshops for traditional crafts, artistic and literary workshops in poetry and story, etc., in addition to introductory tours of the architectural and urban history of Port Said, the Suez Canal, the city's monuments, as well as others. Minister of Culture Dr. Ines Abdidaim, along with the head of plastic arts sector Khalid Surur, inaugurate the Signora, the Daughter of My Country exhibition for the plastic artist Umayma Sisi at the Isis Hall at the Mahmoud Mukhtar Cultural Center. Umayma is an Egyptian plastic artist with a passion for the various aspects of traditional Egyptian life and its art heritage. Through her paintings, she deals with the manifestations of Egyptians' lives in popular and rural areas, as well as in Upper Egypt, where the Egyptian environment is vibrant and rich in colors, which is strongly reflected in the themes of her artworks. In her personal exhibition, Signora, the Daughter of My Country, the artist presents more than 40 oil paintings on canvas, through which she wanders all over the country, highlighting the Egyptian girl with all her inner beauty, which is reflected in her outer beauty. We see her as a child, a young girl, and a mature woman, and how she was affected by the surrounding environment and all her vocabulary, which played a pivotal role in shaping her authentic Egyptian character. That is, the artist relied on herself in learning plastic art and uses different methods in her artworks from both the realistic school and the impressionistic. She is a member of the Fine Arts Lovers Association. Since she became committed to art since 2016, she has participated in many local and international group exhibitions in the Netherlands, Dubai, Italy, Britain, Finland, Sweden, and France. The Oasis of Beauty at the Egyptian Embassy in London, and the exhibition Eden is Destroyed in Silk at the Cairo Opera House.
The Cairo Opera House plays a significant role in the cultural movement that is taking place in Egypt. Stay tuned.
Cairo Opera House hosts a Spanish folk night where Mona Burkhart presents an artistic evening on the open-air stage. The show includes a group of famous dances that mimic the sport of bullfighting, in addition to a group of the most beautiful Western classical songs that appeared during the 50s and 60s of the last century.
I am Egyptian German. I was born in Cairo and I lived my whole life in Alexandria. And then I left Egypt since 18 years old. And then, because my husband is German, I was educated in a French school. I know French, English, German, by the way, a little bit Spanish. I sing in Spanish and understand all the Spanish language, but my talking is a little bit not so strong.
It is noteworthy that Mona Mohammed Hassan is an Egyptian national artist from Alexandria. She has acquired a Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology. Mona Burkhart takes the name after her German husband, Rudolf Burkhart. She mastered singing in French, English, and Spanish, in addition to Arabic. She also mastered classical dance, Latin, and Spanish basadola.
I learned in University of Arts in Alexandria the section of anthropology. This has nothing to do with the music. I was learning also because I love music, I love dancing. I was learning with my famous Dr. Sobhi Bdir. He is my doctor, my teacher for singing. And then I left Egypt, I go to Germany. I know how to move, how to dance, the paso doble, all the Latin classic standard. And then I learned in Germany the technique of the dance. We introduce normally paso doble. Paso doble, nobody in Egypt knows this style of paso doble. It's not flamenco. We introduce flamenco, we introduce paso doble, but the paso doble, it's two pair of shoes from paso doble and flamenco. They are family, but flamenco, to talk about flamenco and paso doble, it needs a long time, so I try to talk a little bit small. Paso doble, it's nearest from our Egyptian hogez, if you know hogez. And flamenco, you use with the dancing paso doble, because the paso doble, every time they dance by the ballroom for the classic, and I try to mix this with the flamenco to make something like to show maybe people that we can make something that they like to know it. Flamenco and paso doble. Flamenco, they use every time the shoes. I don't have the shoes of flamenco because this is need a musician to play only too many guitarists with me. But the orchestra, the small orchestra, they are all my friends since 30 years, 25 years, and we have the same mind. We start with projects, I think, from 7-8 years in Egypt. I come from Germany, by the way, to make the concert in the opera, at the opera, and then I go back. Now I stay in Egypt, let me say 1.5 year. I like it, my husband likes it so much. And I hope you enjoy with us in our concert. By the way, the flamenco, the difference between flamenco and paso doble, the flamenco, you talk with the instrument. The instrument is the shoes. When you and you talk with the castagnette. Paso doble, you talk also with the castagnette. This is all difficult instrument. You should have the hearing to know it and to play with the music, what's behind of you. The flamenco, you use too much your face. You should be aggressive because it's a painful to talk about flamenco. Paso doble, a little bit, you should be also so strong and sometimes lovely. This okay. So they can
será el amor, será el amor, será el amor, amor. No quisiera saber por qué de sentir tan loco mi corazón. Porque junto ahí me siento feliz. Si nunca me llevas ni comprendo cómo eres, ni tampoco de la cosa de la forma de la cosa, todo pero cuando estoy contigo ya me olvido de mis penas y no sé por qué motivo y no sé por qué razón. Será el amor, será el amor, será quizá tu amor, será tu
Since I was young, I love dancing. I dance all kind of dance, is even Oriental, Shari, but the classic like Samia Gamal, not this what they make now. And then I like more the Latin, from Latin America, from Spain, and I have the technique learning in Germany because it's too difficult to have the technique, to have how you stay with the body. The paso doble you should hear. Here we say it in Germany, Hüfte. Here the Hüfte should be with a special standing. And I make a lot of sports, by the way, but the corona, 1.5 year, the corona make us a little bit fat, and I have 6 kilo more. And singer or artist, by the way, should make a lot of sports, because this they don't know it in Egypt, should be relaxed. I sleep early between 11:30, 11 o'clock. What else? I make a lot of sports, running. I was in Germany, run at half marathon, 21 kilo.
She performs to spread the culture of Spanish classical music due to its close proximity to Oriental music. Mona presented many successful performances in various cultural places in Egypt and was well received by the audience and critics.
my home. I like to be here because the style, or the kind of the people who come here to the opera, they are a little bit class, educate, good, interesting to know what other culture. What about other culture?
Fuego que me quema, lentamente me encandela y me atrapa el corazón. Eres fuego que me quema y que sube por mis venas, va directo al corazón. Eres fuego que me quema como el sol. Eres fuego de Eres fuego que me quema como el sol. Eres fuego de Fuego que me quema, fruta dulce con mis venas, viva el dulce al corazón.
And the new song here today, it's a lot of new songs, but we have a new song for the people, for our audience, what they follow us every time. It's called Ojito Tradios. It's talk about she likes to see her love every time in the day, not in the night. In the night, she's depressed, and his augen is not shining like in the day. Serrano is the name. Ojito Marito. Scheiße. Ich habe alles vergessen. Ja. Por unos ojitos por uno. Oh my God, my God, my God. I have stage in 15 minutes. Por unos ojitos negro, negrito como mi suerte. Por un ojito negro, negrito como mi suerte. Hasta quitando la vida, como va a pasar la muerte. Hasta quitando la vida, va a pasar la muerte.
Julio Romero de Torres pintó a la mujer morena con los ojos de misterio, el alma llena de pena, puso en brazos de bronce la guitarra cantora de su bandura y suspiros en tu cara matadora. Morena, la de los ojos claveles.
The Opera House resumes its distinctive rich cultural programs. This time at the Open Air Theater, we have a very special Spanish dance and Western music show. This is Abida Gindi for the Cultural Magazine at the Opera House.
Morena, la del perdón, la de la alegría quitar, la del amor. Muchas gracias.
The camera of our program is always going after the cultural events that are taking place in Egypt, so stay tuned.
Under the auspices of the Ministry of Culture, the biggest international artistic and cultural festival was held under the title She Arts.
It was a nice opportunity that we play in first time in this festival, She Arts, and For me, it was interesting because I saw the program and I saw many artists, women artists that I didn't knew about it. And it has many varieties, dancing, singing, and lectures about cinema and etc. So it's interesting, and they have big challenge because they don't have a big budget, and they take fund and sponsor. So I hope it will be success, that it will be repeated next year, and it will be second and third and fourth episode. So we hope that it will continue.
It's such a great pleasure to be part for this kind of festival, especially for women, and to play for the opening concerts and present us as an Egyptian harpist for our Egyptian instrument, and our Egyptian instrument. Yeah, so we are so happy to be part of this.
It's a pleasure, of course, to get participated in this festival. First of all, for our Egyptian harp ensemble, because all of us are Egyptian women, and our instrument also is an Egyptian instrument. In the same time, to express about women and to take part as a woman in this festival, it's of course a pleasure for us.
We're looking forward to spread the harp music for all the Egyptian audience, because until now not everybody know about the harp, and when you say for someone you play harp, what does harp? So this is one of our purpose, especially for our Egyptian instruments. So, and also we love to present different kind of music. So we tell all the audience that we can play classical music, Oriental music, different kind of pop, whatever, like we did in the concert. So this is what we're looking for.
Our big challenge to own your own harp. This is really a big challenge. The harp is very expensive instrument, and you have to buy it abroad. This is actually the main challenge. So, for example, today, normally we are 6 harps with 11 harpists between professionals and students. So we couldn't do it because we have only our own harps as a professional harpist, and we couldn't bring the 3 harps from the opera, because the opera only or the conservatoire, and it's very difficult to bring out the instrument from these places.
Women represent strength, great will, perfection, and determination. Since hundreds of years, she's the queen, the writer, the fighter, the creator, the artist, and the pioneer. In the 21st century, describing women means looking beyond just appearance. Shuruk Bikir, Culture Magazine.
Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, Cultural Magazine. I hope you enjoyed being with me. Please wait for me in the next episode. Until then, it's goodbye.